Hello and welcome. It's time for 5 minutes to great gadgets. Happy streaming day. Roku, one of the most popular streaming media players, has determined that Sunday, May 20th, is officially streaming day. So happy streaming day. And what better way to celebrate streaming day than to start a series about cord cutting? That being said, our product review today is the Tablo 4-tuner over-the-air digital video recorder. It's quite a mouthful. What this does is records your favorite TV shows from stations like CBS, NBC, ABC, CW, Fox, PBS, all those local stations you can pick up with an antenna, and it does so for free. If you've been thinking about possibly getting rid of your satellite dish or cable provider, now is the time to do it. There's some great options for cord cutting, and I'm going to tell you about them segment by segment, starting with this little device. One of the first things you're going to want to do is head over to antennaweb.org. They have a great tool for finding out what stations you can pick up and how far away those stations are and where those stations are located. Simply type in your address in the box. They will provide you with a list of local stations and how far away they are, as well as what direction to point your antenna. So long as the stations you usually watch have a green dot next to them, you should have no problem tuning them in. There are several things to consider when setting up your system. The antenna is just one of them. I won't go into too much detail in this video, but there are two types of antennas that work rather well. If you live close, less than 30 miles away from the stations that you're looking for, a short-range antenna works great. If you live a little bit further, you'll need a long-range antenna. Both antennas should be placed up high on your roof if possible. You can always find a handyman somewhere in your city to install this for you. Make sure that you have your antenna grounded to protect the equipment inside your home. If you're thinking about using an indoor antenna, don't bother unless you live very close, like less than 10 miles from your broadcast stations. There is one more thing that I strongly recommend, and that is a power line adapter kit. That will ensure a strong network signal. Notice that I didn't say internet connection. The Tablo only requires an internet connection to download your program guide and to stream your shows outside the house to an external location. Now let's talk about the Tablo. While there are different versions, this particular review is only on the 4-tuner version. The reason I chose the 4-tuner is because you can record 4 shows simultaneously. If you don't watch a lot of shows on the networks I discussed earlier, a 2-tuner might work just fine for you. The Tablo is rather small, about 6 inches across, 4 inches deep, and maybe about 1.5 inches tall. On the back, you'll find a power jack, which comes with a power supply, a LAN jack, a reset button, 2 USB ports, and an over-the-air antenna coupler. As I mentioned earlier, a power line adapter is recommended for best network connection. This would connect to your LAN port. However, the Tablo does have Wi-Fi and can be used in that manner. I found the Wi-Fi to be a little less reliable, and there's nothing worse than watching your favorite TV show at a very climactic point when suddenly buffering. Switching to a power line adapter eliminated all of that. I haven't had a problem since. Tablo now states that you can use up to an 8 gigabyte hard drive with their products. Since this device has 4 tuners, there's no need to run a cable splitter anywhere. You can simply run the antenna right to the back of the Tablo. I personally use a 2 terabyte Western Digital passport drive with my Tablo. Their website has recommendations on which drives work best, but don't expect to use a flash drive. This diagram shows exactly how the Tablo is set up. Your Wi-Fi router should be able to sufficiently stream to either Chromecast, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, your Windows PC, a phone, or a tablet. The Tablo menu is nearly identical across all platforms. Here's a brief video that I shot earlier today. The streaming player that I use is the Roku. And by the way, happy streaming day. So we're going to head over to the Tablo app right here. Now simply select that and start it up. We'll wait a few seconds for it to load. And as you can see, it will show up where I last left off on my recordings. It will show me all of my recordings. It gives you an actual video or a visual preview of each show that you've recorded. if we go over, you have this option of selecting all, where you can browse through every recording you've ever made. Or what I find very convenient, since I try to stay up to date, is go to recent. This will show you all of your recent recordings. And this tuner does record 4 different TV shows at once. So 4 different channels, 4 different shows, all at the same time. So you can see my daughter records one in the morning. I've got some things on here, and my wife also watches some different things. We're just going to go into one of these really quick, pick one, and we'll stream to show you how fast this is. If I hit watch, this is one I've already watched, but if I hit watch, I can resume, play from start. We'll do that. And it's pretty quick as far as the load time.
Sticks inside a grilled cheese sandwich. We're now accepting nominations for the
picture quality is excellent.
The fried cheese.
If I want to skip through a show,
the $4 value.
I simply hit the forward button on my Roku. I can see visuals, so I can see where the show starts. I can skip forward as far as I want, or back as far as I want. And then when I'm there where I want to start on the frame, I simply hit OK.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Very simple interface, very easy to use. Recording shows is very simple. Simply go to the Live TV app, go over, select a show, hit OK. The show will come up. I can either select record episode, and then it gives me options too. So I can don't record episode, or I can go to options. The options page will give me start, stop on time, use defaults. I can select other things such as record series and whatnot. It's very, very intuitive, very easy to use. Another option for recording shows is the guide, which actually shows you a visual representation of your shows, and it goes from A through Z. This is quite intensive to go through here because there's a lot of shows on TV. I'm going as far back as the old Superman from the 50s or 60s. Elf from the 80s, and so on. These shows are on different channels throughout different times throughout the day. Here we're only at B, and I've scrolled down several spaces already. Just to give you an idea, this is a huge, huge menu and a long way to go if you're searching for a certain show. Let's just go over to the right side, and you can see there's an alphabet, so I can go through by letter. So let's just say I wanted to go over and record Entertainment Tonight. There it is. All I would have to do is select that show. Once it loads, it'll give me an option, record episodes. Let's hit that. It'll show me I can record certain episodes. Let's say I only want to record the episode that's airing on Monday, May 21st at 7 p.m. There it is. I can record just that one episode. I can go back into that particular show. And then it gives me options. Record, don't record, keep, auto, channel, start, stop, use defaults. A lot of various options to record. Now, if I go here to record, I can record all new shows or record every show, whether it's new or not. So these are some great options for you when you're recording your favorite shows. Once I set record new, all of my new shows automatically show up on time every day, and it makes it very simple to find my shows when I go to watch these. The scheduled feature shows me what shows I have set up to record, and I can go in and see when they are going to record. So I can pick a show, decide when it's going to record. Now these never go away, so even if the show goes off the air, you have to go in and manually delete these if you decide this is not something I want on here anymore. I believe the Blacklist Redemption was canceled, so we can go in here, hit OK. I can go over to record and unschedule the show. Boom. It won't be recorded anymore, but it's not on the air anymore, so that will soon be removed from this list here. You can see it doesn't show that there's any more recordings, and there it's gone. So it's no longer listed there. Another option in the live TV section is to watch a show that is currently on the air. So let's say I wanted to watch this episode of CSI. I can simply hit OK and then watch, and this will be live. Right now it's going to come on. It takes a few seconds to buffer because it's pulling a live stream and it wants to buffer, I think, 4 to 5 seconds worth of the show.
Okay, I'll stand by wait. I just found blood all over Ryan Fink's car. Enough to presume he's dead. Now, Kerry Jones, Ryan Fink, Margot Will.
Now that particular show is coming in on a channel that is obviously not high def. Some channels are, some channels are not. That particular channel is not in high def. If you go to the top side of the left menu where it says Tablo, and then you move over to the right, it will show you your Tablo information, your subscription. In my case, I happen to have a lifetime subscription to the guide. It also tells you the remaining storage left on your hard drive. You have the option to auto-delete recordings after a certain amount of time. There's an LED light that's on the front of the Tablo you can turn on or off. There's the recording quality options, fast live TV startup options, the scheduling so you can not record your duplicates, extend live recordings, say there's a parade or a football game or something like that on that you want to record. Then there's the guide information. This is where you're located at, how many channels you get, what location. Then there's some generic information about your Tablo firmware, what the firmware update is. You can check for that and see if there's a new firmware out. This tells you your software version as well and the model. One thing I forgot to mention is that you do need to pay for the guide. It's either $5 a month, $50 a year, or $150 lifetime. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this extended review. This really is one of my favorite products that I've ever purchased. This company really stands behind their products. They offer excellent customer support. You can ask them questions on their Facebook page and they will literally respond within seconds. The development team is constantly adding new features and implementing customer requests into the firmware. None of their products have been left out as too old or planned obsolescence. It's an excellent product and I highly recommend it. As usual, I'll leave links to everything I've discussed here today in the show notes below. And now it's time to make the magic happen. Don't forget to click like and please subscribe to our show for future episodes.